Okay, Ma, when you were growing up, what are some of the things you wanted to be?
What I wanted to be growing up, a police officer, a practitioner nurse, and I actually wanted to join the military.
But did you know which branch, or you just thought military?
The Army.
Army. Okay. Who are you currently most inspired by?
Define that.
Who inspires you? Like, who keeps you positive?
Y'all do. Because y'all very interesting at times.
So y'all, PJ, Kamaya, me,
Yeah.
even Dad.
That's another subject.
Okay. What even Pepper? Even Pepper be like me. Yeah. Who would you like to meet? Let's assume the person's alive. Any person alive, who would you like to meet?
Hattie LaBelle.
Where have I heard that name? Who is that?
She's a soul singer, R&B old school singer.
Like she currently sings?
She ain't made no album in years, but she's more of a late 60s, 70s, 80s type of music.
So would Dad know who she is?
Yes, your daddy know who she is.
Oh yeah, Dad
She knows
knows.
us to be both our grandparents.
Dang. Dad knows a lot about music, more than I do. I know that. All right, 5. What habit would you most like to break, and what habit would you most like to start, if any?
I don't know. Do I have a habit?
I mean, you have lots of good habits. I don't think you have any bad ones. So
I can't think of too many bad habits, because I broke my bad habits a long time ago.
yeah,
But one of my bad habits I have that I bite my fingernails.
I've never seen you do that in all the years I've been alive.
Fingernails. And I get agitated. I couldn't get to bite my fingernails,
Oh,
and I like to break that habit.
like when you're upset, or
It's just when my mind gets thinking too much, I start peeling my fingernails.
oh, okay. How do you like to relax? Like, what do you? I know you like to watch TV, but I don't know what shows you like to watch specifically.
I like watching the Animal Planet the most. This is interesting. It's not no words. It's just animals either fighting or hunting or nesting or just surviving.
What about Grey's Anatomy? You say
That's just something that's anatomically dealing with healthcare.
so you like healthcare and cop shows basically.
Yeah.
So CSI would be kind of cop policing. Yeah, we need to get back on watching CSI, Mom. Okay. What person or group are you most proud of?
What you mean?
Like, just who are you proud of, anyone?
I'm proud of your brother, you, and your sister. Y'all came a long way to where you was when y'all were younger, and I'm proud that y'all didn't go in a different direction.
Yeah, because we have no kids, no prison jail history or whatever.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. Yeah. And now we're both in college.
yeah, that's a good milestone that some parents can't in the black community. At least one child goes but didn't have another child go and didn't have a family where nobody's been to jail, no drugs, no nothing. That's good. That's not typical in the black community.
Yes, and there are lots of us in prison too.
Yeah.
All right. What are some things you're afraid of?
The unknown.
It can be anything. Aren't you afraid of spiders or what?
I don't know. I don't like to be in the dark. I want to know what to expect in certain situations and not to expect it. And I don't like being in the dark.
That's part of why you like open communication.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone you wish you could reconnect with?
No, not really. Past is past for a reason.
Okay. When you make new friends, what are some qualities you like to see in them? Or just in people in general?
Somebody I can connect with. So every person is not the same. Everybody has a different personality that they bring to your friendship. You got one friend that's silly as hell. You got one that's financially well that you can turn to. You got your back. Then you got one that is humble, that keeps you grounded when you need to be grounded. And then you have that one that's your ride or die chick. Then you know when shit go get the poppin', you call that bitch right there. She knows she got your back. So two swinging ass back chicks, somebody about to get their head cracked. So everybody has the different personality that brings to that friendship.
Yeah. And let's say you could learn anything immediately. What type of skills would you learn? Would you learn something like, I don't know, neurosurgery, a different language?
Yeah.
Any particular language? Just a different language? I want to go back and finish learning Spanish, but okay. Imagine you're in your 90s. What memories would you like to have formed?
Be a grandparent. I already formed a memory of seeing the first black president. I formed a memory already of seeing the first black female president.
Vice president, but yeah.
Was vice president.
Hillary claimed close, I know.
So I accomplished those 2 milestones in my life, which I didn't think they were going to ever happen in my lifetime.
Yeah. All right. If you can make one change in the world, what would it be in people?
Humanity.
Yeah, in humanity, yeah. Make people like
humanity, have people more humble and get along without the drama and all the racism.
So make people
make
understanding.
Yeah, have more peace.
More peace, okay, yeah. Because God did give us the choice to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay. If money was no object, what are some things you would get?
Probably a Ford F-250, red or black or silver truck with extended cab, with low hatchback, and a modified house that would work for me. That I would, I could be more self-sufficient and don't have to depend on you and your sister as much.
And that's all? Yeah. You wouldn't get any?
I don't require a lot of things.
No.
I don't want a whole bunch of stuff that, when I leave this earth, I can't take with me.
Okay. How do you want to be remembered in life?
That I changed somebody's life. That I made a change somewhere. Either in somebody's life or in this world, that I left a footprint.
Okay. You've changed all of our lives already. Because
I can have that one friend like, yeah, I remember that bitch when didn't have nowhere to go, and she let me stay with me. She took me in and she gave me the clothes off put the clothes on my back and fed me. I want somebody like, she helped me change my life around. I want that type of change, positive change from somebody.
You've had that on me. College and stuff, but you want that.
I took you in. You never went nowhere.
What do you mean went anywhere? What do you mean?
You always stayed at home, Shaquille.
You mean I've never done something crazy? Right. Oh, that's different. That would be different.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
That never happened with Keisha. I don't know your history.
Never stayed with me.
Oh, I don't know your history. Okay. What? Okay, this is the last one. How do you think you've affected each of us, PJ, Kamaya, and me?
Define it.
How do you think you've changed our lives? Not just like giving us food, that's obviously important, but I mean like emotionally, like support.
Y'all all 3 different personalities. You the humble one, PJ the funny one, Kamaya's the outgoing one. And as a whole, you will make one person, make one family. I don't treat y'all any different from the next one. I don't treat you no different than the sister. I hope that I showed you how to stand up for yourself, to continue to thrive, and put one foot in front of the other, and take one day at a time. PJ, being PJ, continue to make people laugh, as he did. Kamaya, I want her to learn to be more humble in a sense like you, where she don't take things for granted and what's the word for it? Burn bridges as she learns, because I think she could have the tendency to burn bridges as she go on through life, and you can't burn bridges going through life, because that same bridge that you burn, you may need to go back over for something. So don't burn bridges as you go.
When you move on for people, don't treat them wrong.
Right. But no, it just you can't go off on somebody, even though they deserve to be gone off. There's a way to say things without hurting people's feelings. Because if you go off on somebody,
you can't take it back.
Can't take it back. The words are already there. The words already hurt, and they may walk away. But then who's to say 10 years down the road that same hurting words that you exposed to that person, you may need them for a heart transplant or a kidney, and they were like, no, I'm not messing with you because this is what you said to me. You said F me. You said this. Why would I want my body part to be in you when you when you abuse me as a person, hurt me as a person? You know what I'm saying? So don't burn that bridge.
Yeah, you were saying earlier about how more understanding. I think people don't truly understand one another.
No, they don't.
Because if people knew how much they hurt one another, they wouldn't do it so much. Don't you think that's true?
Yeah.
If racist people knew how it felt to be treated that way.
If they knew if they got a dose of what they giving out, then they'll change their mind. They'll realize it doesn't feel good.
Like all those.
Like somebody who's bullying somebody and then turn around and get bullied themselves. They were like, well, that shit does not feel good. Why are you bullying me? The same reason why you bullying other people. It doesn't feel good, does it?
Which Medea movie was it? Medea Goes to Jail, where she meets that woman who looks like a man, and she bullies Medea. She's like, I'll run stuff here, and then Medea beats her and that other black girl beat her down, and then she stops bullying.
Yeah.
That's why I like Medea movies, because I think that's the central theme. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Anything else you want Kamai to learn? Work harder or study certain things, or?
Kamai just learn new skills in life. Remember that your first choice should not always be your only choice. Always have multiple choices.
So like when you teach me about school, you're like, you can learn things other than physics. You can learn,
You learn
engineering, coding.
Skills. Don't just have one skill. You gotta have more than one skill.
You're right.
Always be multi-skill talented. Don't want to be somebody that's a doctor, right?
A doctor.
But they you have a doctor, right?
I'm listening.
You have a general practice doctor.
Whatever that means.
They mean they just work in a doctor's office, right?
Okay.
Then you have a doctor who has a specialty.
Yeah.
Let's say the specialty is GYN. That's dealing with women's vaginas and ovaries and southern hemisphere, right? But then you have a neurosurgeon. Now, that neurosurgeon had to go to school to be a general doctor. They just got a specialty in being a neurosurgeon, right?
Yes.
So that's all he has the other skill to do a primary, but his specialty is neurosurgeon. Just like that GYN and whatnot, right? But you got a dentist that went to school, he can only be dentist. Because that's what he went to school to, particularly to be Dr. Olson dentistry at DDS. So the only skill he has is that one skill set. He wants to mess with them out. Whereas a neurosurgeon, they can do primary plus neurosurgery. You know what I'm saying? The multi-skills.
Yeah, David was telling me that I can learn like game development or coding. He's like, I like to play games. He's like, you can learn game development or coding like short term, like online.
Yes, that's a different skill.
And then
if something, let's say you do let's say you go to school, get your degree, and you get a job. Let's say you go to this job 10 years, then boom, the economy hit, and nobody's hiring in that field, right? So one of several things gonna happen. Either you're gonna continue to find a job in that field which you went to school for, you're gonna take on a new trade, or you just gonna say fuck it and just go on with life and just do something simple.
yeah.
So that just totally be up to you. But you know, at the end of the day, I say have multiple trades.
I say I could do engineering or physics or both, whatever.
Have different trades, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and one last question. How do you think God has helped you?
He kept me here. Well, he could have let me down a long time ago, knowing my health situation is. Yeah, you know how many times I've been in and out of the hospital. You see how sick I got. He could have took me home at any time, but he still kept me here.
Why do you think that is?
He ain't finished with me yet.
What?
My time on Earth has not been expired.
How has God helped us? How do you think when you pray?
You still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You
Yeah.
focus. I mean, your roller coaster has been up and down, but he still kept you grounded. He kept you out of trouble. He kept you out of jail. He got you. You ain't got no kids that sidetrack you. You ain't got no friends that ain't trying to help you or hurt you.
Yeah, all David wants to do is hang out with me. And then you told me about that girl who got the scholarship but got pregnant.
So, you know, you just got to do what you do. Jonathan, come out the bathroom.
I mean, that would be a real sidetrack for her.
You know, getting in trouble and having a bunch of kids that you can't afford.
Like that girl you told me about.
Yeah, so you don't mean that they want that kind of life for y'all.
When would you say is a right age to have a child, assuming you had a career?
It ain't a certain age.
So no certain age, just whenever you're...
Because most children are not playing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Accidents happen. Most children are not playing. Unless you're married. Then you plan on having a baby. But most boyfriend and girlfriends do not plan to have a baby. Shit happens. It is what you do with the shit. When shit happens, look, you just got to, we're gonna grow up. You get a job, I get a job, we're just gonna have to make it happen. That's all I just say. If you make a baby, take care of your responsibility. Don't do it. No matter how hard, if that chick make it to be, you gotta go to court to get visitation, get your child support, do right by your child. Because you will need that child in the long run. If you get sick, that child is the only one who's going to take care of his parent if you raise them right. But if you don't do right by your child ain't going to do right by you. Leave it at that.
So are there children out there that have been treated wrong and do abandon their parents when they get old enough?
Mm-hmm. Put them, stick them in the old folks home and everything.
That's called being bitter, isn't it?
No, they ain't not bitter. They just not, they don't want to deal with it.
No. Then what does bitter mean? I thought that's...
Bitter means something that happened and it hurt that they can't get over. They don't want to deal with that person at all.
Oh.
That's just like somebody, you know, the parents hurt you to the point where I don't want to deal with them at all, period. I don't want to hear their name. I don't want to hear their voice. I don't want to be around them, period. That's just pretty bitter and hurt right there. If they die, they don't go to the funeral or nothing. That's hurt. That's bitter. There are children who are like that, who get their butt beat for no reason, ain't getting fed, been left alone, and then as they get older, the parents see they strive to move on and did this, the parents get ill and get sick. First person they call is that child. They were like, nope, you did me wrong as a child. You go do what you had to do. Go be doing what you did for this long. I can't help you. You shouldn't do that to your child. So, at the end of the conversation, that's 20 minutes.
Yes, yes.